So here's your trigger warning, I guess. I'm gonna do like a woo thing or whatever. Um, we're gonna talk about some not so great things this time. So as I recall, it began with Kime. He joined Solaris and he invited his cousin Meds to join us. Meds, maybe he's the next video because of what happened in the Sea Serpent's Grotto. But Meds invited his friend from real life into Solaris as well. Wow, almost couldn't bring myself to say his name. His name was Reality. He was a Mithra, and he had the hair and face that I didn't like on Mithras. Every time I saw that hair and face on a Mithra, I was like, something wrong with you. I'm not going to say which one it was. So we played together for a couple of years, and Meds was cool. I could really tell Mez was a cut above. I'm trying not to make this video about him, but just for comparison's sake, I couldn't understand why Meds was friends with Reality. Reality was rather crass, coarse, vulgar, unintelligent for the most part. And it really bothered me that he played Thief. Because I was like, nah, Thief is my class. This is my job. You stay off of that. You don't taint it with your garbage. Honestly, I never liked Reality from the get-go. Something about him displaced one of my chakras, you know? It was like, hey, one of my chakras in the chest area. Whenever I'm talking to this guy, I felt it just, it's in my shoulder now for some reason. Like, why do I feel so misaligned just being near this guy? Well, by the time we was all like 75 doing endgame for a while, we had all been in an endgame shell. We had all learned about endgame. And we all eventually, kind of came back to the nest, came back to the social shell, because we were all tired of it. That was the era of the game for us. And around that time, Reality is all hanging out with this Elvon female named Shaylee. And I remember at one point, one of my buddies from another endgame shell, he sends me a PM. And he's like, hey, Val, isn't Solaris the social shell that you belong to? I was like, yeah, why? He's like, you guys let Shaylee in your Linkshell? And I was like, is there something I should know about? And he just was pretty evasive. He didn't say any specifics, but he was just like, keep an eye on Shaylee. Keep an eye on them. And you know how it goes. Gosh, horny ass kids on video games. Always got to be, doing /sit inside of each other. You know what they're doing. I'm not gonna. They're cyber sexing, okay? They're typing naughty, horny crap to each other and trying to get each other horny while the other person's masturbating, okay? Boom, full disclosure. You're being a historian, I guess I have to just spell it out. I can't be connotative, right? I apologize. I had to smoke some weed before even doing this because I don't want to talk about it. But there was a point, I don't even remember how it came to light, but it became just plain knowledge one day that Shaylee is not a chick. Shaylee is a 40-year-old dude. And I was kind of trying to be big brother, guild leader guy, So I get Meds, me, and Reality in a party together so we can just have a party chat with each other. And I'm like, Reality, what's going on, man? You're like 15, dude. What, you cool with the fact you're doing this with a 40-year-old dude? And he's just like, yeah, what about it? I, you know, I guess me and Meds, we figured if that's what you want to do, man, I guess go ahead. Now, see, Meds was also like 15 years old. I think I was, gosh, I think I was maybe 25 when this happened. And we just didn't know. Like we didn't have experience with that sort of thing. We had no idea what was going on, or we would have contacted the freaking authorities about it. We would have contacted Square Enix and been like, "Hey, there's a freaking pedophile grooming a young man on your video game. You guys okay with this?" I don't think you would be okay with that. Had we known better, I think we would have taken different courses of action at that time. But I remember talking to a couple other people in the shell who'd been around for like 10 years, and we were just like, what do we do about this? And I think we were all more afraid of outing someone as a male who was trying to pretend to be a female. I think we were more afraid of that than anything else. We just didn't really stop and think about what we should have been doing in that circumstance and in that situation. So it shouldn't really have been a surprise, although it was a shocking surprise. About a year later, and in that time, Reality had not logged into Final Fantasy XI for about 6 months. Meds sends me a PM. He's like, "Hey man, I gotta talk to you about something." I was like, "What's up?" He says, "Well, maybe you've noticed that Reality hasn't logged into the game for 6 months, right?" I was like, "Yeah, he played every single day after you guys got out of school. It was a daily thing." And he says, "Yeah, well, Reality's been locked up for the last 6 months." And I was like, "Oh, why exactly?" Because he raped his 8-year-old cousin. Go figure, older person brainwashes a young person, overly sexualizes them, and then that young person goes and does the same thing to someone much younger than them. We saw it, me and Mez, we saw it happen right in front of us. We could have taken a different course of action, but we just didn't know better. We were kind of sheltered for the most part, enough that we didn't know that was a thing that happened. And seeing it happen right in front of you, and then looking back on everything, you recontextualize, and it just becomes like, oh wow, we could have done something to stop this, or perhaps correct this, or something. It's you can't really see it over the camera, but my body's kind of shaking a little bit, just thinking about how perilously helpless I was back then when I didn't know any better. It really sucks, But yeah, that was a thing that happened over a video game. That happened over Final Fantasy XI. It's crazy. The number of things, the types of things that were able to be witnessed over this strange, enigmatic game that hated everyone that played it. But, this was pretty depressing and horrible. Maybe I'll end it on a good note. Hey, Meds, remember Sea Serpent's Grotto? Okay, check this out. I loved to tank. I played Paladin mostly, but I also played Thief, as I mentioned. And I tried tanking Charybdis at the bottom of Sea Serpent's Grotto as Paladin one time. Yeah, that lasted, I think, 7 hits. The thing ripped my head off, man. You can't just tank that thing with HP. So, we had Riston, our bard, come give me Evasion and haste songs. And Meds was really cool. He was our summoner. He was like the only summoner we had for a long time. He would come by and use Earthen Ward, make sure that I just was beefed out for this fight. And in total, I think we got like 40 joyesses for people off Charybdis. Like, we decked out every single person we knew, our friends, pretty much anyone who could use the thing. We made sure to get one. And Meds is the reason that we kind of formed that group doing those things. Meds is the reason we got good at camping Charybdis and claiming it and just having me Thief Ninja tank it. I think it was our 3rd joyess. The first one went to me. I think Dar Dragon got the 2nd one. And then Riston was supposed to get the 3rd one. And I distinctly remember I passed on it. Dar Dragon passes on it. Riston rolls a 14 on it. And Meds doesn't do anything yet. He's typing out in party chat like, "Congratulations, Riston. I'm really glad you got this thing. You've been a really good bard for our Linkshell. You've always been cool. You really deserve this sword. And I'm glad you're going to get it." And he goes to pass, and he hits lot. And he rolls like a 900 on it. And we all just sit there and see Meds obtains a joyess. I just sat there. My brain stopped. There was like this complete disconnect in my head. I was like, it says Meds, but it means Riston, right? Because Riston's supposed to... Oh no, Meds, you can't even use it. You don't even have a job leveled that can use it. Why, dude? We camped it all day. I was so stressed out fighting that thing. I was finally gonna get Riston a joyess. And then you rolled on it. I know you meant to pass on it. Because I know how bad you felt. Because anytime I said in Linkshell, "Hey, Charybdis window's open. I'm going to be down there. Anyone wants to help out? Come on down." Meds and Riston were always there. Dar Dragon helped out a lot too, but he had other things he had to do too, so he wasn't always there. But I will say, whenever Dar Dragon was there giving me haste, I felt a lot safer. With his paralyzed and slow and everything, I felt a lot safer with him around. But we would 4-man that thing all day. And it was really scary because I wasn't the best geared thief. I didn't even have a scorpion harness. Just pretty much relying on the Rapparay harness haste. And I don't even remember what main body I used when I wasn't like casting Utsusemi. But yeah, I guess that's the story of Meds and Reality. 2 pretty polarizing people that were friends for some reason. But I guess the world takes all kinds. Sometimes it takes something pretty terrible to open your eyes to the world, I guess.